Hello students, very warm welcome to you all in my class, in the class of Accountancy, class 11, where we were dealing with the very important chapter and topic of term 2, where we were dealing with the financial statement, and dealing that we have already discussed the concept, features and preparation of trading clear, and in this class we will move ahead of this topic, and in this class we will deal with the operating profit and the relationship between operating profit and net profit while preparing the profit and loss account and calculating the net profit and operating profit. So let us see what are the basic key elements of operating profit and net profit when we are engaged in the preparation of the profit and loss account and try to calculate the net profit and operating profit. So let us know how these topics are interacted or interrelated with each other and what are the key differences between both. So first of all, we will discuss about the operating profit. When we talk about operating profit, see, operating profit means operating profit means the profit which is earned by operating activities of the business over a period of time I hope the concept is very much clear to you. जब हम बात करते हैं ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट की तो हम उस प्रॉफिट की बात कर रहे होते हैं जहां अल्टीमेटली जिस प्रॉफिट को हमने अर्न किया है थ्रू द ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटीज, बिजनेस के ऑपरेशन में, चाहे वो एक्टिविटी कोर हो या नॉन कोर हो, हम दोनों ही एक्टिविटीज को कंसीडर करते हैं। कोर का मतलब जो रेगुलर ट्रेडिंग एक्टिविटीज हैं और नॉन कोर का मतलब बिजनेस से रिलेटेड तो हैं लेकिन उनका प्रोडक्शन पे सीधा इम्पैक्ट नहीं पड़ता है। ठीक है, तो ये दोनों ही चीज़ें अगर किसी एक्टिविटी से रिलेटेड हैं और उस एक्टिविटी से हम अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का प्रॉफिट अर्न कर रहे हैं, इन दैट केस वी आर डीलिंग अबाउट द ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट। I repeat again, the operating profit is the profit earned through the normal activities of the business, and it could be arrived by deducting operating expenses from the gross profit. Means when we talk about the calculation of gross operating profit, it could be like gross profit minus operating expenses. Whatever the operating expenses had not been recorded in the trading account, it will be recorded in the calculation of operating profit. Means whatever the expenses which have not been recorded in the trading account, but since it is related with the normal course of action, are ultimately known as operating expenses. And if these operating expenses are reduced from the operating or you can say gross profit, then we found the value of operating profit. I hope this concept is very much clear to you, and ultimately in this case it is also known as EBIT, earning before interest and taxes. ठीक है, हमने ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट के बारे में बताया कि ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट एक ऐसा प्रॉफिट है जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी यानी नॉर्मल कोर्स ऑफ बिजनेस से रिलेटेड होता है नॉर्मल कोर्स ऑफ बिजनेस से रिलेटेड होता है, अल्टीमेटली नॉर्मल एक्टिविटीज से रिलेटेड होता है। और इसकी प्रिपरेशन हम इसलिए करते हैं ताकि जो हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस का प्रॉफिट है, हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की जो ऑपरेटिंग है उससे होने वाला प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस हम कैलकुलेट कर सकें। और जहाँ तक हम फॉर्मूले की बात करें तो फॉर्मूला है हमारा ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट इज इक्वल्स टू ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट माइनस operating expense, means all those payment which have been made by the organization due to operation of usual course of action. So hope the operating activities is very much clear to you. Let's talk about the net profit in the organization. Now when we talk about net profit, net means exact, final, or the last profit of the organization. Means whatever the profit has been earned by the organization at the end of the period of time due to any reason, due to any operating or non-operating activity, that is known as net profit. Means the profit which is earned by the organization, the profit which is earned by the organization earned by any of operating or non-operating activities in the organization. Okay, I hope this concept is very much clear to you. चाहे वो जो प्रॉफिट है वो हमारे बिजनेस का यूजुअल कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन हो, नॉर्मल बिजनेस हो, या फिर हमारा एबनॉर्मल बिजनेस हो, अनयूजुअल बिजनेस हो, इन दोनों ही सोर्सेज से मिलने वाला जो भी प्रॉफिट होगा वो हमारा नॉन प्रॉफिट या वो हमारा नेट प्रॉफिट कहलाएगा। ठीक है, इट मीन्स हम चाहे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की रेगुलर एक्टिविटीज परफॉर्म करके कोई प्रॉफिट अर्न करें या नॉन रेगुलर एक्टिविटीज परफॉर्म करके जो है कोई प्रॉफिट अर्न करें, दोनों ही प्रॉफिट हमारे नेट प्रॉफिट कहलाएंगे। एज वी कैन से दैट द नेट प्रॉफिट इज arrived by deducting operating as well as non-operating expenses from the gross profit, and expenses which are incidental or indirect to the main operation of the business is called non-operating expenses here. For example, the interest on loan, charity, donation, loss on sales, extraordinary losses, these are the non-operating activities and non-operating expenses. And similarly, when we talk about some indirect income or non-operating income, it will also considered while calculating the net profit. And the example of such not operating incomes are interest, rent, dividend, gain on profit, etc. So, as we said that the calculation of the formula of calculating net profit or the calculation of net profit could be made with this formula, like net profit is equals to either the gross profit minus in all non-operating expense and non-operating income. Similarly, if we talk about the relationship of net profit and operating profit, then we could say that the net profit could be calculated with the help of operating profit by reducing the operating profit from the non-operating income, expenses, and adding by non-operating income. Means net profit is equals to non-operating operating profit minus non-operating expenses plus non-operating income. So therefore, another formula could be derived here as operating profit. Operating profit could be calculated by the net profit minus reducing the value of operating not operating income, non operating income, and ultimately adding with the non-operating expense. So I hope now this formula is very much clear to you that if we want to calculate the net profit, it could be calculated by the formula which is here given before you. सो आई होप दिस कॉन्सेप्ट इज वेरी मच क्लियर टू यू। हमने अभी जस्ट जो है ग्रॉस ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट बताया और ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट के बाद नेट प्रॉफिट बताया। अब इन दोनों की कैलकुलेशन हम कुछ प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम से, कुछ प्रैक्टिकल इलस्ट्रेशन से सॉल्व करने की कोशिश करेंगे और जानेंगे कि जब ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट दिया हो तो नेट प्रॉफिट या नेट प्रॉफिट के दिए होने पे ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट किस तरीके से कैलकुलेट किया जाता है और इसकी कैलकुलेशन में किन किन रूल्स का, किन किन फार्मूलेज का ध्यान रखा जाता है और किस तरीके से इन फार्मूले को इम्प्लीमेंट किया जाता है वाइल कैलकुलेटिंग द नेट प्रॉफिट और while calculating the operating profit. So I would like to remind it again that when we calculate the operating profit, it means the value of gross profit minus operating expense, or another formula of calculating operating profit is here before you with the help of net profit, that is net profit minus non-operating income plus non-operating expense. When we oppose this formula in the calculation of net profit, then in case of calculating net profit, the operating profit will reduce from the net or non-operating expense plus non-operating income. But if the net profit is willing to calculate with the help of gross profit, it means there is a value of gross profit will be reduced from the non-operating expense and be added with the non-operating income. So I hope the concept of net profit and operating profit will be very much clear to you. Let's take some example to calculate the operating profit and non-operating profit. You can say net profit with the help of some practical example. Let's take ahead.
Now see, as the information written given before you, that with the following information we have to calculate the gross profit, operating profit and net profit of the organization for the specific period of time, wherein which for which period of time the various information that are written before you are clearly mentioned, and as per these information we have to calculate the gross profit, and a part of the gross profit we have also to calculate the operating profit and net profit. So ultimately, when we talk about the initially the preparation sequence, then first of all we will calculate the gross profit as it will prepared as per the rule of trading account and as per the format of trading account. Ultimately, later on we will calculate the value of operating profit, and ultimately the value of net profit. So first of all, deal with the trading account content, and here we are going to discuss the debit and credit content of trading account. As we can see here that the opening stock should be recorded in the debit side of trading account. Later on when we talk about the purchase, it should also be mentioned in the debit side. But if we talk about the purchase value of sale, it will be credited in the trading account. And when we talk about the transaction of purchase return, it will reduce from the value of purchase. And ultimately when we talk about the sales return, it will directly remove and reduce from the value of sales. Later on when we talk about the value of wages, it will be a part of the trading account. But if we talk about some other expenses given before you in the trading account or in the trial balance, it will not be a part of the organization while preparing trading account. Now see, as in the question, that the value of opening stock, purchase, sales, and wages, these items are ultimately recorded in the trading account. And later on when we talk about the some more transaction of trading account, it will be a part of trading account credit. Now see, when we had prepared the trading account as per that selection or as per that selected item, the value of opening stock valued as in the debit side with rupees 2 lakh, and the net purchase was written by reducing the purchase with the purchase return. It was valued at 18 lakh 30,000. And later on when we talk about the wages, it was given in the trial balance as rupees 80 only. And in the credit side of net sale of the trading account, the net sale was given as rupees 24 lakh, as by reducing the sales return from the sale. And ultimately when we talk about the closing stock, the closing stock is also written in the credit side, since it has been given in the adjustment or as in the form of additional information. So therefore it has to be written in the credit content of trading and profit and loss account. And differentiating both, we found that there is a surplus of credit side in the trading account, and therefore the gross profit has been calculated as rupees 5,40,000. So it was the trading account that has been prepared before you. Later on when we talk about the profit and loss account, initially it will started with the closing balance of trading account, that is gross profit CD. And ultimately whatever the value of gross profit, it will be starting point of the profit and loss account also. So the same thing is recorded here also as in the form of balance BD. Now see, whatever the indirect expenses as written in the trial balance will be debited in this particular account, and whatever the indirect income will be written in the trial balance will be credit content of this particular account. Now see what are the credit and debit content of this particular account as in the form of indirect expense or in the form of indirect income. Let us talk about. Now see again the value of trial balance as for ascertaining the indirect income and indirect expense, and uh, the content except the trading account. As for the ascertainment of profit and loss content, it will record it in the debit and credit as per the nature of indirect expense and indirect income. Now see, when we talk about the advertisement, it is an indirect expense, and that is why it will be recorded in the debit side of profit and loss account. Similarly, salaries, rent and taxes, lightning. These are all the credit content of, actually debit content of profit and loss account. As for the assistance, I have marked the arrow leftward so that it could be clear that it should be written at the left side of the page where the debit content are written. Ultimately, when we talk about the commission paid, it is a kind of payment, and therefore it is a indirect expense, and it will be recorded in the debit side of profit and loss account. Similarly, when we talk about the commission received, it will be credited, and ultimately if the traveling expense is given, it will also be debited as in the form of payment, office expense, interest on long-term loan, or the value of printing and stationery. These are all the indirect expense. Some kind of indirect loss will also be debited in the profit and loss account. And ultimately, if there is any expense related to the sale, it will also be mentioned as in the form of uh, credit content, that is carriage outward amounting 1400. And later on, if there is any loss take place in the organization due to the operation, that is also be a debit part of that particular organization for that particular period of time. And later on, when we talk about the gain on sale, it will be a profit and should be recorded in the credit side of profit and loss account. So as you can see, if the arrow moves leftward, it means it should be written in the left side of the page, that is in the debit content of profit and loss account. And if we talk about the credit arrow, means if the arrow moves rightward, it means we are talking about the credit content or the content that should be written at the right hand side of the page in the profit and loss account. So advertisement, salaries, rent, lighting, commission, paid, traveling expense, office expense, interest on long term loan, printing and stationery, loss on sale, कैरेज आउटवर्ड, लॉस बाई थेफ्ट, ये सारी चीज़ें जो है हमारे ट्रेडिंग के बाद प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस में डेबिट जाएंगी। और इसके अलावा जो हमने कमीशन रिसीव्ड, गेन ऑन सेल ऑफ बिल्डिंग, इन दोनों पे राइट मार्क किया है, इट मीन्स दैट विल बी ट्रांसफर टू द क्रेडिट साइड ऑफ प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट. नाउ सी the practical implementation of this highlighted portion as in the solution of profit and loss account. Now see the preparation of profit and loss account. Whatever the value has been mentioned here, it has initially recorded as to calculate the ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट. तो ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट में पहले हम उन सारे ट्रांजेक्शन्स को लिखते हैं जो बिजनेस के यूजुअल ऑपरेशन से रिलेटेड हैं, जैसे सैलरी, रेंट, टैक्स, लाइटिंग. ये बिजनेस के यूजुअल ऑपरेशन से रिलेटेड हैं, इसलिए इन सब को हम डेबिट करते हैं एज फॉर द कैलकुलेशन ऑफ ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट. And ultimately these all are recorded in the debit side of profit and loss account. इसमें से हम जब क्रेडिट के ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट और कमीशन के टोटल को लेस करते हैं, then we found the value of operating profit. Ultimately the value of operating profit was valued at 2,63,300. इसके बाद इस ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट को आगे लेकर के हम चलेंगे इनडायरेक्ट इनकम और नॉन ऑपरेटिंग इनकम और नॉन ऑपरेटिंग एक्सपेंस की ओर. तो अगर जो नॉट ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट की वैल्यू हमने फाइंड की है, उस ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट की वैल्यू को हम अल्टीमेटली ट्रांसफ़र कर देते हैं अपने प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस के क्रेडिट साइड में एज इन द फॉर्म ऑफ BD. तो इसमें से जितनी भी इनडायरेक्ट इनकम जो नॉन यूजुअल हैं और उनको ऐड करेंगे, और जितनी भी नॉन ऑपरेटिंग एक्सपेंसेस हैं उनको ऐड करेंगे. एज यू कैन सी हियर दैट द इंटरेस्ट ऑन लॉन्ग टर्म लोन, लॉस ऑन सेल ऑफ मशीनरी, लॉस बाय थेफ्ट, these are all the non-usual expense
or unusual expense of the organization, and that is why it has been debited. And dividend and gain on sale of building, these are the not usual income of the organization. And adjusting both the side, we find the value of net profit as in the form of 2,34,000. And therefore we came to know the sequences and the calculation of gross profit, operating profit, and net profit. Hope these all calculations are very much clear to you, and we are able to differentiate these three items before you. We will deal the same topic in the next class. Until then, take care and goodbye.